So this one, old BMW, we would walk right past this and not know what it was, but this is
We did.
Yeah, we did walk past it, to go and look at a scooter. Very important bit of motorcycle history there, isn't it? So to do it justice, we're going to have a word with Ben from Bonhams, who's going to tell us all about it.
That's right. You would walk past this,
Yep.
and maybe not necessarily pay it a second glance, but when you do give it a second glance, you'd look at the front of it and go, "What's that?"
Yeah, I had.
And then,
yeah, okay, yeah, no, you're
the
right.
penny might drop,
Yeah,
and you have a closer look at it. In actual fact, what we've got here is a genuine pre-war BMW compressor, Type 255. They made 10 of these, and 7 of them apparently still survive. This is one of them. And in the 1939 Senior TT, one of these came first and one of these came second. Georg Meier came first, English rider Jock West came second, and obviously 1939, significant year.
Yeah.
This is the Germans showing their dominance. And
Yeah.
of course it was lauded. Georg Meier was a national hero, but a hugely significant motorcycle.
Yeah.
We can't say that it's Georg Meier's or Jock West's bike, because
However,
unfortunately the records don't exist.
Yeah.
But there is a 2 out of 10 chance that it could possibly be.
Yeah.
BMW after the war, banned from international racing, but they still had these bikes and they continued to use them. In fact, Georg Meier after the war continued to race them. And if you look at those tellies on the front of it, we can date those to exactly 1949. We've had a long conversation with the guys at BMW in the archive about this machine, because obviously we want to know what we're selling is right.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'll quote from the catalogue, because where are we? Let me find the page. I should know this by heart by now, shouldn't I? Here we go. So, Bonhams has consulted the BMW archives in Munich, and they advise that this motorcycle's individual parts look original, e.g. engine, compressor, transmission, cylinders, heads, rear axle drive frame, forks, tachometer, handlebars. However, they just can't say what the individual machine's racing history is.
Yeah. But you often get that with racing machines anyway, don't you? So, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it's really hard to say. And it's like all race bikes. They go through that period of time where they're used by the team, and then of course they get passed on and passed on and passed on, and in the meantime they have accidents, there's engine changes, frame changes. I mean, the most exciting thing about this was when, BMW said, yeah, it's right. I was fully expecting them, to be honest with you, I was fully expecting them to say that it was not a real example.
Yeah. So the fact that it is, and the fact that there's only 6 or 7 left worldwide, makes this a pretty special bit of kit.
Immensely important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I have actually sold one before, about 10 years ago now, in America, sold for $490,000. Estimate on this is $250 to $350.
And confidence high?
Confidence is always a little shaky when it comes to the race bikes, because it's so hard to know. Arguably, race bikes should always be the most valuable. If we're going to talk about value, right? Race bikes should be the most valuable type of machinery out there.
Yeah. Especially ones with history.
Yeah. But it's also a much more limited market.
Yeah, of course.
Because you can't take this out for a ride.
No.
On a sunny day.
No, it's going to be a very specific
market.
Yeah, absolutely.
And don't forget also, we're talking magnesium cases, original cases.
Wow.
If you damage those, you're not going to be able to repair them.
No.
But the good thing is, I mean, I suppose if I was lucky enough to be able to buy a motorcycle like this, what I would probably do is have a reproduction engine made and put that in the bike.
Keep the original
one, preserve the original one, because really that magnesium is at a point where you wouldn't feel safe or confident using it.
But at £250,000 quid, would you actually ride it though? Would you
Well-
be brave enough to ride it? or would you, or,
I mean,
or
I
is
would,
this-
but then I'm a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think that they're machines at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be last £150,000, is it? You're not buying this with the last of
No.
your money.
No.
You know, this is going to
This
be.
is sat
if
in
you're buying
someone's
this,
penthouse in the middle of London.
so if you're
somewhere,
buying
aren't
something
you?
like this, the chances are it may get ridden, which is exactly what, you know, even if it was just on a parade lap or something like that, that'd be fantastic. wouldn't
We've
it?
had the
See it
discussion before about, you know, investors, right? No one here who comes to the sale on Sunday is an investor. They're buying bikes because they love
Because they love
motorcycles.
the
and to enjoy what.
They are in a
yeah,
position where they
yeah,
can afford to buy
Yeah,
bikes at a certain price level.
yeah,
And let's face it, we all wish we could be in that position as well.
yeah.
But
Absolutely.
they know what they're buying. They
Yeah,
intend to enjoy it,
Yeah.
and you hope. I mean, I've got to do just. It's always the way at the last minute. Once the catalog's gone to press, there's little bits of information that start to come out. Like for example, the late owner of this bike actually found it in East Germany, and I've got a name for that person. I'm just trying to do a little bit more research on that. But I've also established that this was at the I'm just trying to think now which year it was. I think it was 1989, possibly the anniversary of the 1939 TT races, where this bike was there and being ridden by Georg Meier. So it could potentially still have been ridden by Georg Meier, albeit in 1989, not 1939.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's, you know, this is
Nice little bit
the
of symmetry though to come round that, isn't it?
yeah,
That's nice,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But again, I'm just trying to establish that detail, which is
Yeah.
always the way. And it's not just that bike. There's always bikes that once it goes into print, a little bit more information comes out,
course.
which is
Yeah,
always
yeah, yeah.
exciting.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. Yeah,
I have
yeah.
no idea what's going to happen with this bike, though.
And
I
that
really
is
don't know.
in that part, the auction buzz though, that's going to be amazing, surely. When
I
that,
hope so.
know.
I mean, it's going to be an interesting moment. It's going to be like a nerve-wracking moment.
yeah.
Um,
You've only got to get one
because-
person with deep pockets and long arms. And,
Yeah,
you know.
ideally two,
Two
or
or
three,
three, yeah.
even better.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and then we'll find out what the market value of it is.
Yeah.
But it's going to be, it should set, I hope, a new benchmark figure.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I mean
Good.
that's the whole point with a lot of these bikes is it does give a barometer of where the market is
Yeah.
and how it's doing, and you know,
Yeah.
from the very top end to
Right the way through.
right the
of
way to your
course.
sort of popular classics.
Yeah,
It's,
of course. Yeah.
it's always interesting.
Thanks, Ben.
No
Yeah,
worries.
thanks for your
Appreciate
time.
it.